Hello and welcome to BarCast. We are at episode 3. My name's Chris Phillips and I am here with my co-host Mark Chappel.
Hello there.
So Mark, how are things going with you?
Good. Yeah, really good. I've done more projects, got a few more things going. Had a bit of fun playing some games with a couple of friends. But how about yourself, Chris? How you been?
Yeah, pretty good. I've just had a week of annual leave.
Oh, nice.
So I've been working pretty hard over the past 6 months with
Hmm.
work and with all the hobbies. So I thought, I'm going to take a week off, and it's really allowed me to work on all my side things I wanted to get done, which is really good for me.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. So, what kind of projects have you been up to lately?
Well, I'm glad you asked because recently I've just gotten back into my main channel. As you know, I'm a singer, but back at the start of lockdown, I just stopped uploading to YouTube.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but after the 4 months off, I finally felt confident enough to start over. So on Tuesday, just gone, I actually uploaded my first cover video for 130 days.
Ooh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, it was a crazy amount of time.
Hmm.
So I'm really happy that I've done that. I'm really looking forward to, going back into consistent creating of content.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And obviously, we've been working on BarCast stuff, and I've been working on other aspects of the Crispy Sings channel. And
Hmm.
I've been updating the social medias and the websites, and which you can find that all on my link tree, which obviously just check me out on Twitter. Shameless plug right at the start. Don't you love it?
You gotta love social media. It is very good, and it is a good way of getting people and talking to them. I mean, for example, we've now got our Discord up and running that we did mention at some point.
Yeah, our Discord is it's slowly started to grow. Got a few people in. Uh, so if you fancy coming in, come say hello.
All right, we're always looking for it. We've got different categories up depending on what you do fancy. So, obviously, the latest that's come out in gaming, I don't know if everyone's liking it as much, but if everyone remembers Ghost Recon Breakpoint, when it first came out, it didn't feature AI allies, which was a heavy put in the old games, because then that way you're either playing the game on your own or you had to make with players. Now, obviously, you do have difficulty with playing with other people because you don't know exactly if they're going on to do this mission or that one. And as much as you could talk, but if you're playing with complete strangers, it's a bit hard. So it was a brilliant feature that they've added it back on. And the best thing is you can customize the loadouts, you can choose what weapons, and the best thing is they learn from what you do. So if you're going in guns blazing, they'll back you up, they'll even heal you if you need it. Or if you go in stealth, they'll go put silencers on and everything.
Oh, that's cool. So it's proper artificial intelligence in that way.
Hmm.
So you've
Yeah,
got the either Leroy Jenkins approach, which
which I love.
I'm not gonna lie, that is a bit me because I don't have the technical know-how in games to do the whole stealth. I'm just gonna run at them, I'm gonna shoot them, or I'm gonna stab them, or whatever weapon I have. I'm just gonna run at them, and I die a lot.
Part of the process is obviously like you die, you respawn, you learn. I mean, that's like with Dark Souls. It's never a game I'm gonna get into because it's insane. But the amount of times you can die. Obviously, our friend Scott, he's played the games, and I don't know how he does it and get as far as he can. And I never got along with that type of game.
Everyone's good at their own niche.
Hmm.
I'm a Pokemon player and Minecraft, and at Minecraft I still die a lot.
The good thing I've got as well is like community ones, like survival ones, where you're not like you're playing with people, but you can build up like a safe haven. So if you compare it to communities like you've got in Minecraft, where you've got your villages, My game that I've got, which is like State of Decay, you build up a community and get them skilled up and do various things, and you can choose to help people. But obviously, instead of like where you got the spiders as such, you got zombies, and you got the different classes of them.
Minecraft has zombies.
Oh, well, yeah, you got
You
zombies,
got
but
zombies. You
my
got
main one is this
husks.
zombies.
Huh. You got zombie villagers. But I know what you mean. You got your mobs and we got our mobs.
Yeah, I've got more like restricted, like it is the infection they're coming after you. Whereas obviously Minecraft, you've got such a range. You've got skeletons. You've even got like the baby versions as well, which like just
Oh,
scare me.
baby zombies.
Mm. I can't remember. I've seen some like. Do they sometimes like have like spiders on their side? Um,
They will ride the spiders.
oh, that's so cool.
Yes, it's also terrifying.
Can you do that as well in the game? Now?
No, no.
Oh,
You can
that's not
only
fair.
ride horses, pigs,
Mm.
um, and a, there's a new mob in the Nether which you can ride, which pretty
Oh,
much means you can go across lava.
oh, nice. Well, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. Because I
yeah.
just imagine like riding spiders in just
On
to mess.
llamas, I think,
Oh, that's good then.
but that's all I know so far.
Yeah, well, it's always good like with new updates and stuff. I mean, it's equivalently to everything's getting new updates now, and it's quite good seeing like an old game like it's come out. It's been out for years, and how it's developing and getting more structure. It's quite interesting. So, folks, obviously our health is greatly improving. Chris has got some brilliant news for you.
Yeah, brilliant news as in I finally got down to 17 stone flat. Like
Nice.
I haven't been that light since 2012.
All right.
Maybe even earlier. So yeah. So my fitness is improving. I actually ran for the first time in about 3 months earlier this week. That was exhausting. But it was progress. Slow but steady, but progress. And how's
Oh,
your health going, Mark?
yeah, mine's going quite good. I've lost a couple of pounds. I mean, what I've gone more is drinking less soft drink. Like I used to just drink like lemonade on the side, but now I'm focusing more on just water because that is the best thing for you and with no added sugar necessarily. And if I wanted to, I could add squash. Like I'm drinking blackcurrant squash and water now.
Yeah, I'm on
Um,
orange today.
mm,
Oh,
I feel
so
much better for it. Like I've noticed, even when I'm on the ship, I've had more water than anything, and I noticed that I greatly was improving. So I was
yeah,
sleeping better. I've got a Fitbit that I wear, and my sleep scores was increasing from that. So I'm wondering if it is just healthier.
yeah. It's obviously you need a certain amount of water a day, and fizzy drinks do not count as water.
Uh,
Um, the two things that I like to drink, well, and which are good for you, is obviously water squash. That
mm,
and then green tea is really good for you.
all right. Yeah, I mean, a
It's
lot of my crewmates
it's
have been
it's
drinking
not
that.
always the most tastiest of drinks, I don't find, but
Mm.
you know, if you can drink it, I do recommend green tea, and it's just really good for you.
I know, like you can make it into like if you weren't too interested in like the flavour, you can always do like an iced tea. That's quite nice. Like if you add a
Yeah,
few bits.
yeah. I'm not too big on my hot drinks anyway, or ice drinks. I am mostly a water and squash drinker at the moment.
Oh,
But
it's just,
every now and then a green tea is just a nice kick.
it's meant to help good, like when you digest food as well.
Yeah, digestion and metabolism, just waking you up in general. It's a good goer. Obviously, it's very little caffeine.
Which is a really good thing for some people.
Yeah, I mean, I've been essentially caffeine free for 5.5 years.
Which is good, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it it wasn't a coffee thing because I don't drink coffee, never have.
Hmm.
But I used to drink gallons of Coke.
Uh, what about energy drinks? Were you a fan of that?
Pardon?
Were you a fan of like the energy drinks, like Red Bull, like Monster?
No, I didn't do energy drinks. The only time I did energy drinks was when I was doing a Jaeger bomb.
Yeah, fair enough. You
and
needed
that was really bad for you.
that.
So, yeah, no, I didn't really drink much in the way of energy drinks.
Oh, that's good then, because I know like sometimes people develop and they get too attached to it. But they are good, like if you are going on a journey. I mean, I've occasionally had like a Red Bull if I'm trying to recover from nights because it's gives you that extra bit of energy where you can try and get your sleep pattern back on. So I've always had like one at the end of nights just to swing my body back in.
Yeah, so you can stay awake long enough to go to bed at the right time so you can wake up properly
Mm.
to turn back into days.
Oh, I feel
Where,
nice and refreshed to play games and cause chaos.
yes. Whereas if I did nights and I had to switch back to doing days, I would go to bed
Mm.
coming back from nights and I would just sleep for a day
Fair, yeah,
because
that
I
does.
can do that,
Mm.
which is not the best thing to do because I would be losing one every 14 days through sleep or one every 28. I don't know how often do you do nights.
Usually I'll do one week, and then I'll go on to another week of days. So I'm split between the two.
Yeah, so one day a month I would lose through sleep in that instance.
Mm.
That's not great. I could do so much in that time.
Yeah, that's why I try and like force myself to like get the extra bit of energy just to try. So I lose sleep, but at least my body will adapt quicker.
Yeah. So, Mark, you may not have known this, but I had a message from one of our listeners about a
Mm.
topic they would like us to discuss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to discuss it as well because it's actually quite relevant, I think, to us.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the whole introvert versus extrovert aspect about
Ah,
what we are and how we deal with being an introvert or extrovert.
that's quite interesting actually. I
Yeah,
mean, I would probably say I'm more in. I can't say the word introvert than I
introvert.
am.
So you prefer, time to yourself, being avoiding people.
Yeah, but when I do go out, I am really good. Like if I do go out, I'm good party animal,
So you're like
social.
an extroverted introvert. Like you like avoiding people, but you can do the.
Yeah.
Whereas I was, before I started going out, until I was about 21, I would say I was a grade A introvert.
Hmm.
I won't say an S class introvert. I know someone who is.
Hmm.
Um, but I was an A grade introvert. Um, I was quite happy in my own little world, avoiding people. Did I want to go out? No. Like I look back now, all the summer holidays, like
Hmm.
from school, and all my friends would be going out. They'd be socializing. Did
Hmm.
I do that? No. I would stay in pretty much all day, every day.
Hmm.
The only people I would talk to would be my mum, my sister, and my stepdad.
Hmm.
Maybe my dad if he called, or if I went to see him.
Hmm.
And I would just stay in. I was quite happy playing Pokemon or listening to music or just ignoring everyone else.
I get that. I mean, obviously, you've known me when I've gone out. I don't seem like an introvert. I'm just going to say in from now on because it's easier for me to say.
Mm.
But when I am out, I am good socialise. Sometimes it does take me ages to get out. Sometimes it's just me recovering from being social from like when I'm at work because I'm always dealing with people. So usually I've like run, run out of social and it's me just a time to recharge my batteries if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'm quite lucky. I've got quite a small social bit at work because I only have like three people in the office.
All right.
And because I'm with them all the time, it's just gotten to the point where it's not really socializing for me anymore. They're
I
just my
see.
friends at work because I
Mm.
just see them that often. They're just there. But I know if I have like a social weekend where one day is lads' night where I see you, Max, and Scott, and that, then another night I see the other group of friends. By Sunday, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'm quite happily, Chris, do you want to do anything? No, leave me alone. I'm hiding under a blanket. And then I will spend the next few days
Hmm.
like under a blanket and just recharging. I don't want to see people.
Yeah,
Like,
which is perfectly reasonable, and it is a good thing because sometimes you do need your own time to yourself. I mean, going back to like how you are games, I'm brilliant for that because then that's like groups go in, play games, perfect for that environment. Going out all the time, like maybe like going out to like clubs and that, I have to be in the right mood. If I'm not, it's not for me.
yeah, I say like I'm really interested, and I've stopped drinking lately, which
Mm.
is not good considering we're doing a barcast.
I mean, we're taking a break, and then eventually, once lockdown's done, and we
No,
meet
no,
up.
I'm like completely sober at the moment.
I am, as much as people never believe
Like,
it.
I don't even. I have no alcohol I can drink here.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah, which I have a globe of alcohol.
Hmm.
The bottles are pretty much empty.
Ah, so
Uh,
the Earth is now flat. No, not flat, empty.
yeah, it's a, so so I'm not drinking at all, and drinking used to help me just break that social barrier for me.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I would want to go out, but I would want to be with like my small group of friends that I would go out with, because
Yeah,
I don't have to try and like be friendly to people. I can just be my weird self and just enjoy myself. However, I have a very social bubble.
you do
So
indeed.
they want to go out and they will talk to other people.
Hmm.
And I normally can't start with introducing to new people if I'm sober because I'm just like, no, I don't have the energy for this. So I would have a couple of drinks, and by the time we get to talking to new people,
Hmm.
I'm already on a different mindset because the alcohol's kicked in.
Yeah, because obviously, yeah, the nerves that you have, obviously alcohol slows it down, so you don't feel as nervous quite early. I mean, that used to be with me. I used to have a drink and then anyone would then be my friend. I would be talking away. I would be dancing on the dance floor if no one else is, trying to get more people on the floor and dancing because that's just how I'd be. So
I wouldn't go
I'm
that far.
really out of my shell then.
No, I wouldn't dance in front of people that willingly. That's a lot more drinks. That's
I mean,
shots involved.
which is not a bad thing.
No,
Shots
but
are quite good.
I'm not doing shots. And like, I'm not going to pubs. I know pubs are just reopening from lockdown. We're only episode 3. It's only end of July, start of August.
Mm.
Lockdown's still being lifted. But I have no desire to socialize in that aspect at all. I
I agree with
will
you.
I will do my D&D sessions. I will do my lads nights
Mm.
on Zoom or on Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
But God forbid, will I go out and socialize with a big group? No. I don't want to see anyone new.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough because obviously what is good is it's brilliant having a big circle in some regards, but I tend to prefer not as big, but people that I know their interests, and I know them more one on one than I do like a massive group. And then I'm seeing more, they know more me, I know them, we hang out more, get along. But if you've got a big group, of course, that means you can hang out wherever you like, but
Yeah,
then can you always trust them? I'm not saying like anyone's not trustworthy, just saying, can you trust him like getting you back safe? Let's say if you did go drinking and you got smashed, would
mm,
they know where to send you? Could they get you back? Or is it because you're hanging out too much that you don't know?
exactly. And that's enough about us and the whole introvert and extrovert thing.
Hmm.
But how do you feel like about introverts and extroverts? Like the ones who are like polar opposite, the ones that are like always out there, always have to be with people, and how they must have really struggled during lockdown, and then the real introverts who have struggled through lockdown but from a different sense, Whereas the extroverts have
Hmm.
missed the social, the introverts have had the anxiety of if they do go out and they bump into people they don't know, which is already bad enough. But
Hmm.
everyone's supposed to have their face covered if they're going shopping, and then you got the anxiety of you could get ill. No,
I
so
mean,
that
yeah. I mean, overall, the ones that do want to go out, they've always been aiming to go out. I mean, as you saw in the news, when people were going out in a group, like the beaches, they were getting rammed. That's and then obviously it's not just people going out for the sake of it, but they just wanted their freedom. Because like if you're someone that lives in a flat, for example, you don't have a garden, you're stuck like yourself. Like you are stuck there, and that's not a good feeling. Even for inverts, if you're feeling trapped, your anxiety goes up because it's like, am I going to be stuck here for the rest of my life? It's not necessarily, but that's what they would feel.
hmm,
And there is a difference between meeting up with someone just for a chat, even if you're an invert, compared to not seeing them at all. And then not everyone necessarily has technology like games console or webcams or ways of talking to people freely. So if you feel like you're trapped and locked away, as you said, if you do go outside, you might seem like you're more um, out like an outsider trying to go in. If that makes sense.
yeah, always on the outside, never looking in,
Hmm.
or always on the inside, never looking out. By both are reasonable example phrases here.
Hmm.
Um, Whereas the introverts, they don't mind the fact that they're stuck indoors,
Hmm.
which it's great for them because oh, I don't have to go out and see people. Brilliant.
Hmm.
But at the same time, you have to go to a shop because you will eventually run out of food.
Oh
Or
yeah, you need to do a supply run every now and then.
exactly, if you don't have that person who can go out and get it
Hmm.
for you, like if you don't have someone who doesn't mind, doesn't have the anxiety of no, oh God, what if I do this? What if I do that? And they can do it. If you don't have that person, it's down to you.
Hmm.
And
Which I yeah.
no, wait, you're caught really because you either got yourself and you have to go out and you have to see all these people and you have to do the shopping, or you have to trust someone, do an online order, and get someone to deliver the food to you.
Hmm.
And then you've got a stranger coming to your door. Yeah, they got the
Yeah,
supply
and that's
run,
not.
but
Hmm. But you still got to interact in some way. I mean,
exactly.
obviously, the main problem that you've probably found is where you've got like some people that might not have the means of paying online. They might only pay by cash. So, like, how do you work around that if someone's dropping off and it's like you don't have the means necessarily to pay by a card as such? How would you counter it?
Yeah, it's just really crazy. So, Mark, have you read any good manga lately?
Oh yeah, I've actually got a really good one. It's Goblin Slayer, and it's such an interesting tale.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've not actually read any of it. What? No, like, give me a lowdown.
So obviously, if you like your adventures and like action like things, then it's
Oh,
perfect for you.
you know I do. We both
Oh,
love One Piece.
oh yeah, but the story starts off quite interesting because Goblin Slayer is the name of a title that someone got from what they do. The character is basically an adventurer, but he's got such a high rank in like the guilds because obviously like adventure guilds and that you go up different ranks.
Yeah.
He's managed to get quite a high position, and everyone's thinking, but all he hunts is goblins. And obviously, that's originally how he started building the title. But it starts off, it's not like a slow start, it actually builds up quite quickly because it's basically someone is making their way into like a cave to fight goblins. And everyone thinks goblins are weak and stuff like that. But in reality, they may be savage, but they always try something new. But they don't care if their own dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they're
So it's like,
sneaky little
hmm.
selfless, selfish bastards.
Yeah. So like say if they lost like five of their comrades, they might climb over the bodies and fight. And like how some people are noble when they fight, they move their dead companions around or try and get them out. No, they just pile on. So if you've made a pile, they're going over. And it's trying to get the savage levels of what goblins are. And then he develops all different techniques, how to fight them.
So as they evolve in their fighting skills, he evolves in his fighting skills,
Hmm,
and then he's slain so many, he's gotten the title Goblin Slayer.
that's exactly. I won't put too many like spoilers in. But main thing is, how about yourself, Chris? You've read anything interesting?
Well, I've really toned back on my manga as of late, but
Hmm.
and I've just had to unfortunately knock another one off my list because it just finished.
Oh,
Yeah, after reading it for like the past 2 or 3 years,
hmm.
obviously I joined the party late, but I've been reading the volleyball manga Haikyuu.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been honestly one of my favorite reads,
Hmm.
uh, because it's been about a little shorty
Hmm.
and a prodigy, two characters. Obviously, one who's always going to do well in volleyball, and one who started completely sucking.
All right. It's
And
quite unique.
throughout the manga, he's obviously you see him learn all the techniques about everything he has to do,
Hmm.
all the trials and tribulations, and they ended it on a high,
Oh, okay.
and they tied up all the character stories, and even like when it was coming to an end, it like tied up all like the smaller characters.
That's rare.
Like,
You don't see that often.
yeah, I mean, like most of the characters that they introduced, they gave like their little ending to, so you knew like, oh, that's such and such from them. Oh, they do this now, and that's really cool. And they tie it
Oh,
up.
that's a
They
nice
tie
little
up the
finish.
stories. They got the consistencies,
Hmm.
but it's like 400 odd chapters,
That's quite
and
impressive.
it's come to an end. I'm gutted because I loved reading it and
Was it
love.
an ending that you expected?
I didn't expect it to happen just like that. I knew they were tying it up soon,
Hmm.
uh, but I wasn't sure how the author was going to end it.
Ah, so it kept
So
you
I
on
can say
suspense.
I'm content with the ending. I
Hmm.
just wish I had more time to like read it and like enjoy it, like some just like a couple more chapters.
Yeah,
But
you don't want it to end. I
you
completely
know,
understand
the
that.
really good ones.
Hmm.
Um, you
I mean,
know,
did you have many favorite characters in it, or was it
um,
primarily?
yeah, I had a few.
Hmm.
There was Hinata Shoyo, who was the lead because he's a little orange head bundle of
Hmm.
joy. Um, and he was a middle blocker. I don't know if you know much about volleyball positions.
I don't know the exact names, but I do know how they interlay and work with each other.
Okay, so if you don't understand, I might just explain it anyway for
Hmm.
those at home. So you have, from my understanding, on a court, on each team, you have 7 players. On a standard volleyball team, you've got 2 middle blockers
Hmm.
who are generally pretty obvious. They're blockers. They jump at the net, they smack the ball down,
Hmm.
they block.
Defenders, yeah.
Yeah, defenders really. You get 3 wing spikers.
Hmm.
Basically, the guy the ball gets thrown to smack it at people on the other side of the net.
Hmm.
I'm going for really in-depth descriptions here.
That's fine.
You've got the setter,
Hmm.
who is generally the most important person on the court because they have to get the ball to the spikers
Ah.
in a position which is easy for them to, spike to hit the
Hmm.
ball. And then you've got a libero, which is like the guy. He doesn't spike at all. He
Ah.
he doesn't do jump blocks either. He's basically on the back row.
Hmm.
So for when the ball goes through the blockers at the front, he's there to dig it to stop
Ah.
it from hitting the ground.
Which is quite a hard role because I remember
Yes, yes, and
when I
good
used to play volleyball.
liberos
It
are
was hard.
generally quite well admired.
Hmm.
So now I've got you that, I can tell you. My two other favorites are Tanaka
Hmm.
and I've forgotten his name. Ah, no. But the Libero for uh, Hinata's team.
Okay.
My brain, I read it last week and my mind just gone. Psst.
Oh, I know how you feel. I've had that many times. You try and think of a name, and it is hard. I mean,
Yeah,
unless you talk about it all the time, you never
exactly.
really remember the name.
I don't normally talk about it at all.
Oh,
But those three are probably my because they're dumbasses, they're funny, and two of them have got, and all of them got like a really strong mental attitude. Like
okay.
their
Yeah.
grind is like non-stop. They always want to
Hmm.
be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
So I love that about them.
Oh, that's quite a good thing because I think from what I was getting the looks of like some of the cover art, because obviously each one comes different. It must have been going like quite a few rival teams throughout the stories. I mean, 'cause it couldn't just be like one going on
No,
all the way along.
no. There's generally you get introduced to their first big rival in like the first big arc, which is
Hmm.
Alba Josai.
Hmm.
They face them three times. If you go by the anime, they face them three times in the first two seasons.
Ah, okay.
Um, uh, win, loss, win for our lot.
Hmm.
You get Nakoma, which is a team which has history with our team, and
Hmm.
then they're both aiming towards a goal where they can face each other in a national tournament, and those are like the two main rival teams.
Oh, I
And
see.
then the
Yeah.
other teams in the cover are generally like the team they're facing during
Hmm.
that arc,
Oh, that's
during
not
that
bad then.
volume. That's the word, volume. And
Yeah,
obviously,
because
there's like one-on-one actual rivals, but the real rivalry is between Hinata and Kageyama, the short-ass middle blocker, and the prodigy setter. And it's this whole manga is like basically their competition with each other,
I
right?
see.
And it's really wholesome sometimes, which I dig.
Yeah, I mean, I've never. I might get into sport ones then because it sounds like it is quite interesting more. Because I mean, I always used to pass them off because I mean, sport I was never into. I liked playing rugby, but I couldn't see myself reading about sport. If that makes
Mm.
sense.
No, I've only really read two sport mangas,
Hmm.
Haikyuu and Kuroko no Basket.
All right.
And that's all I've really read. Other than
Hmm.
that, it's slice of life stuff with a bit of sport in.
Yeah.
So, I,
Yeah. I mean,
but sport isn't my normal go to. It was just these two were just like recommendations. And I went, okay, I'll give them a go. And I just loved them. So I read them.
yeah. Obviously, like the same as you when you finished that one and it ended. I had a manga that I was reading, and it was Green Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And it was quite an interesting twist. Like the story, you never knew exactly how things would go, but then near the end, it started piecing things together.
Yeah.
What the setting was like the main characters were going on an underground, going like through Tokyo, like the system, and there was some new event, like an ecosystem coming, like more greener, and then basically something shakes. You're not sure what's happened. They basically all the lines go out. No one knows. They get to a station, and then people go out to want to know what's going on. When the first lot do go up outside, no one comes back straight away,
Mm.
and then the main character then starts going out to see what's going on. And basically, you see greenery everywhere around like all skyscrapers and everything, massive plants. And the scary thing is, the first thing you see is like people's bodies, like they were trying to run to the station or hide, and they're all covered in like plant life.
Oh.
So you like they're almost cocooned in it, but their body is outlined. So if you've ever seen like sculptures of like people before, it almost looks exactly like that. And
Okay.
it only hits home until you see this one body covering this kid that's still like alive. So,
Oh.
so it's like he covered it, but he's scared of what's going on.
It's like
And then the next
Attack of
thing
the
you see,
Triffids.
Yeah, and it's the most scariest thing because the next thing, you got one of like a police, not like a police officer, but like the traffic wardens that they have on the trains, almost like we do, goes out, and then the next thing you know, he's been attacked by a plant, and it's like his body's getting crushed. It's like one of the not a Venus flytrap, but more one that pulls you in and digests you,
Yeah.
and like you just didn't expect that to happen at all. But like going further on the storyline, they run back into the station, and then they think they're safe down there because obviously the top land has now become hostile for any humans to go. And it goes on a couple of months later, and then what you find out, there's something else that's changed in human DNA,
Oh,
and then that's one reason why they go.
yeah. Fair enough. If you like our content, please consider supporting us on Ko-fi.
So, Chris, obviously we've talked about many games, but I played any good board games recently?
I don't really know if it counts as a board game or a dice game or what it actually falls under.
All
I
right.
think it's its own thing in itself, but
Hmm.
I have recently started playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I've done a couple of sessions.
Hmm.
I am a dwarf bard.
Oh, nice.
I'm
Fitting.
called Single by choice. And yes, the pun is it's not my choice. And I am quite new to the D&D world, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But
That's
but this last session we did has one really funny highlight.
Hmm.
It was so I'm playing this with a group of friends. I won't say all their names, but the two I will mention because they're relevant to the story is Luke and Max.
Okay. Yeah.
So we got Luke and Max Shelton, two people that quite often visit with the open mics, so you
Hmm.
know them.
Yeah.
But Max is a rogue,
Ah.
and Luke is a paladin. He's also a dwarf, though. Luke is. I think Max is a halfling. I
All
know
right.
he's a
So,
little fella.
so you've all gone for like a small like team.
Yeah. So Max has gone as a small sneaky boy.
Hmm.
So we've come to this ruinous city. There's something going around another part, which I think we're visiting in the next session, which
Oh,
I
okay.
actually believe is today.
Ah.
Um, so that so we're gonna do that in today's session,
Hmm.
and so I'll mention that next one. So what? So we're at this castle, and it had a locked door, and we're wondering, well, we could see if we could unlock it from the inside because we've
Oh.
tried kicking it down, we've tried all that, so there might be like a wooden plank on the other side of the door. We got no
Ah.
idea.
All
Um,
right.
but Luke and I had this idea, like, do Luke and I have the strength to throw Max over the wall? And now Callum was just like, our DM was just like, okay, you're gonna need a joint throw total of like 30.
Oh,
Like, so out of two D20s, we both need at least 15.
damn.
Yeah. And yeah, we rolled like a 4 and a 7. We rolled an 11 out of 30.
No.
So safe to say we threw Max into the wall. Just
Oh, oh God, Platzer. No.
yeah, Max took damage,
I'm sure you would.
and he had to roll for damage. And he
Please
took
tell
like
me that was low at least.
yeah, he took like 2 or 3.
Oh God, if I say if you took more than what your role was, Christ, that would
Yeah.
be.
Luckily, when we were all like level 3, we're nearly level 4, so we do have some health, and we were all like fully recovered.
Hmm.
So this was like the start of the day. We just had a long rest, so all our hit points were like, and and our DM was just like, really? I went, yeah, we failed, but can we try again?
No.
He didn't let us. Instead, we had to do the boring thing and use a grapple and a hook. And now, I was just like,
Oh, poor,
but
poor
I'm a
little Humble.
dwarf. How high
Hmm.
a row do I need to climb the
Ooh.
rope? Because you need like an athletics check.
Yeah.
My athletics bonus was like 2, so I got like a really low bonus.
Oh,
But
damn.
I rolled a 13, which gave me a 15 total,
Hmm.
which meant I could climb the rope. And
At
she's
least
like,
that's one way.
yay! But I'm really looking forward to seeing what the next session brings because I have a bad feeling we've got a big bad evil guy to face, and
Ooh.
I've got no idea on because the last session we had a battle and we
Hmm.
all nearly died and we didn't even have a boss in it. It was just it was just like standard bag. I mean, it was a good amount of them,
Hmm.
but like we nearly died. I mean, I did nearly die. I went down to like 8 health.
So, are you going to come up with a technique maybe where you throw one of yourselves at it? Maybe try and get like a critical hit?
I'm not gonna lie, Luke and I will probably try and throw Max at the big bad evil guy just to try and cover the distance. But if
Sounds
we
like a
do
plan.
that, the problem is he might die from being surrounded.
I mean, that kind of reminds me of what happened in like Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you ever watched. I think it was the Two Towers, and it was a
Yes,
scene where Legolas basically threw the companion across, and it's like,
yes,
right, I don't usually ask this. Throw me, and literally just
yeah.
throws
It
the guy.
was Gimli.
That's it. Yep. He was. I loved him. He was my favorite character. I can just imagine. I can. That's why I can picture the scene of you guys.
Throw me. It's just, yeah, it's really funny because we were joking that we had to travel quite a distance. And I did actually say, we dwarves are made for sprints, not marathons. I
Oh,
thought it only felt appropriate because that is a quote fresh from, I think, again, Lord of the Rings. I can't remember if it's Twin Towers or The Return of the King.
hmm.
Actually, I'm not even going to try and say which one because someone will correct me.
I'll tell you what though. If you ever take out a big enemy and it's carrying people, the line that you have to say is, "That still only counts as one."
Yeah. But yeah, what about you? Any board games?
So obviously, I never thought I was honestly going to play this game because I always sucked at it. I think I was 7 or something last time I popped it, and that is Monopoly, the
Oh.
Game of Thrones edition.
Oh, yeah, see, I've got the Game of Thrones edition, so I know the board, but not Monopoly. Did you fall out with anyone?
No, and surprisingly, it was like a quick round. I don't know how it was,
How do
but it
you
was like
quick round?
it's rare because you know how long a game lasts of
Yeah.
Monopoly.
If it lasts any less than an hour, you're not doing it right.
Supposedly, I was doing all right until someone nicked my land.
How?
So near the end, where like on the board you start off with 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one property that cost you 5, and somebody turned out to have a chance card that referred to you could either steal a row or a single property. They happened to take that away from me.
Son's a bitch.
And what was funny about it is I kept landing on it. So whereas I paid 5, I then paid 5 again and again and again. And then I had to start mortgaging all my other properties. But I
Ooh.
thought I was doing well because I had properties that I was earning 3 to 4. I mean, you've played it. You know that land is critical.
Oh yeah, I know it for sure. I mean, on standard Monopoly, my first go is always Park Lane and Mayfair.
Yes, they're the good
Like,
ones.
I generally plan my rolls that way. Like, I don't know how, but
Mm.
I always try and get one of them on my first round.
Which is a wise move because it does pay off at the end.
Exactly. I mean, yes, it's a lot to do with the luck of the dice,
Mm.
but if I can get one of them, it means the other people can't get two.
Yeah.
And then
Which
I
is
will trade, like half a row for the other one.
nice.
But it doesn't matter because if you could get hotels on
Mm.
either of them, you win really because no one can afford the mortgage, the
No.
payment of a hotel on Mayfair.
Oh, God, yeah, that's going to definitely win.
Yeah. If you can get one of the train stations and one of the utilities, you
Mm.
have so much haggle room.
I mean, what I had is how I lost badly, but the one thing that everyone noted was I was quite lucky that I was rolling doubles.
Mm,
So I was able to roll more doubles than anyone in the game. And
which gave you more
usually that's
chances.
where my luck sometimes comes into it. So it's like, obviously, if you roll a double, you go again.
Mm,
If you get 3 times, you go to jail.
yeah.
I
So
was
really, you
always
just
lucky
want
that
two
it never
doubles
hit
and then
third.
carry on.
So, folks, I've got some brilliant news. We've always talked about it, and I love these because it is versus. We talked about how we were going to do this kind of stuff, but I never told you the ground rules about it.
Oh, it's
So,
about time we
obviously,
got to this.
oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. We are going to start doing it. It will happen. So, the rules that we have, we pick 2 characters. Now, we need to know our 2 characters. Also, we will pick what type of setting it is. So, for example, if we talk about Marvel, you've got way too many platforms of where you can take the lore from different timelines, different stories, different origins. So, what we might do is just select one film. Let's say 4. So, with 4, I could have Loki and Chris can have 4. And then we would go through the different elements and the powers, what they have, and maybe some features that they had in the other movies. Now, obviously, we won't necessarily have to worry too much about spoilers because we're only going to use movies that have now been out for a while. So,
Yeah.
Chris, has got any inputs on any like the rule sets you want to put in? Because we have been talking about it.
Exactly. With the Thor Loki example, we can only do the version of that character which is in that movie.
Hmm.
I can't use, say, use Ragnarok Loki in Endgame because Ragnarok Loki wasn't in Endgame.
Hmm.
So Thor in Endgame would have to be Fat Thor.
Hmm.
So you have the whatever character we pick. If we pick a movie from where they're from, that is what we're gonna have to stick with.
Yeah. Because that's our ground setting. It's going to be pick a movie, and then if we wanted to, like if people say we want to have a rematch, then we could do another film if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I mean, the one set.
we could do the original Thor film with
Mm,
Thor versus Loki, and then if you do a rematch, we could do Dark World, we can do Avengers,
mm,
we can do Ragnarok, the brief time in Infinity War that Loki's alive.
yeah,
You know, we could do Endgame Thor with Endgame Loki, which is technically Avengers Loki.
yeah, which does work. And for example, we do love Marvel. I mean, one idea we got eventually. Unfortunately, the movie's been pushed back, but that was Black Widow. And then one character I love to pieces is the Taskmaster
Mm.
because he
Obviously,
can always.
Mark knows about Taskmaster.
Yep.
I know nothing. So I would probably pick Romanoff.
Yes, that would be
But
a good one.
but we'll come to that when we get to seeing Black Widow.
Yes,
Either later
that is
this
one
year or
from us.
start of next year. Who knows when that's going to happen?
Hmm. But other rule sets we will have for this as well is we'll base it on we will get the information, watch it, and so we get a refresh. So we've got the knowledge and we know each other's character. So if we're going to take a dig, we can take it. So obviously, for and Loki, they grew up. They got along. I mean, if you remember in Ragnarok, there was the game that they said, "Get help."
Yeah. Oh, I love Get Help. I hate it. It works every time. It's humiliating. We're doing it. We're not doing it. Do you have a better idea? Well, no, we're doing it. We're not. Get help! Yeah, and also the snake story.
Oh yes,
But I'm going to say
yes.
that because that's funnier coming from Chris Hemsworth than watching the
Mm.
scene itself.
But, and the best thing is they are brothers as well. They fight. They naturally fight, and it's not like we're going to have a fight to the death. We can do, but we don't need to. It's just
It
going to be like
depends on if you request it yourselves or if the situation we pick it.
yeah,
We could pick a fight to the death for two characters because we feel that's the only way these two characters are going to settle
yeah.
this fight.
But
Maybe
obviously,
Venom and Carnage, that will
oh
always be a fight to the death.
mm,
I can't see him going, "Oh, you beat me up pretty well there, bud, but let's call it there." That's going to be, "You beat me up pretty well, but I'm still going to kill you, you son of a..."
yeah, that's exactly how it's going to be. But obviously, don't think we are just going to do Marvel. We're going to open this up for many topics. So Marvel was just our example of saying what our rule sets are and potentially what our first versus our will be. I mean, hell, we could do Disney. You
Exactly.
can do
We can break
anything.
into any genre. If you have a versus you want us to do,
Mm.
hit us up on our social medias because we will
Aye,
happily we will do our research. And if you give us two characters, or you can set us like the specifics, like we want such and such characters, but you can only use lore which is legit from this movie that they're both in.
mm.
Which obviously, for say you got Rise of the Guardians, you can use Jack Frost versus the Easter Bunny,
Yeah,
but you can only use the lore from that movie,
mm.
which is canon.
And it's quite interesting.
Yeah, and I love and also not Marvel. That was just off the rail.
Yeah. So obviously, if you remember last time, or if you haven't heard, I embarrassed myself by making a jingle. So
Oh
I did that
goodness!
the first time. So I now leave it to my good friend, Chris.
And I've had a little think. I've not come up with anything special, but it is my turn, so I will do the honors.
Hmm.
So, pop to the bar, come say hello, talk to your friends about what you know. BarCast.
That is annoying because that was better than mine.
You just repeated BarCast.
Well, it works. You got the old American jingles. They just repeat themselves.
Yeah, I was going for like a radio jingle. Da 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 da.
Oh, so I've got the next one to do. How am I going to top this? I do not know. But right, folks, now it is the end of our podcast. Our next podcast that we will introduce will come out on the 15th of August,
Yes, it will.
which will be good. And maybe we'll introduce the verses then. Who knows? But obviously, any information you'll do, follow our social media. We do post, even our own walls we have. But the main thing that if you do want to know anything, always follow us on Twitter at CMBarChats. We're there. Both got connection with it. I like posting how I've done, what I've done in the game. And if you have seen, I've posted game things where I've like been dancing as a dwarf in my mining games. So if you do want to know anything or talk to us, or if you want to find out more about our other social medias, do follow us on there and let us know.
Indeed. And we'll see you next time. See you
Take care,
later,
folks.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.